part of what we want to do to start out is to give a level set as to who Premier Marketing is. Many of you may be familiar with us, some of us not so much. So we are a national marketing organization founded in 1968. That's part of the Integrity Marketing Platform. We have offices across the country, contracted in all 50 states, and we act as an insurance wholesaler, working through independent insurance agents and agencies such as yourself, with contracts available with different carriers at the highest possible commission levels and recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. We do so through a full portfolio of products that appeal to the Medicare market. And that includes the base medical programs, the Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, and standalone Part D prescription drug plans, the PDP programs. But we also have a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, final expense life insurance, pre-need plans, long and short-term care programs, disability income plans, and those ancillary benefits that can be a key motivator for folks that look for additional benefits beyond what the standard Medicare medical coverages provide. Many times they offer some, but not enough. We look to make certain that we cover all of our bases. So when we look at the Medicare Advantage portfolio, it's got a large number, the national carriers there, along with many of the regional carriers that can make a difference for you in your target market. And that same philosophy carries over into the standalone Part D prescription drug programs, where they're available to you as well. You note in this that many of these are part of the contract for the MA product as well. So there's not necessarily anything additional you need to do in order to be able to have a contractual possibility of offering these programs. Obviously, you have to do certifications and the other things, but it's there for you as part of the contracting process. When you look at the Medicare supplements, we want to make certain that we offer a range of products across the spectrum of needs for the Medicare population, and that includes Medicare supplements, where we have a robust portfolio and programs put in place to help you be successful there as well. And that same philosophy carries over into those ancillary products, where in each of those categories, the national leaders are there for you through our organization. When we look at the Medicare market overall, you guys are well aware of this. You don't come on a webinar like this without somebody speaking to the aging of the baby boomers, the silver tsunami, 10,000 plus a day, one every 10 seconds. But if you look at the Medicare market based just on age, the number's a little skewed, because we're seeing people that may be eligible for Medicare benefits earlier that defer accessing those benefits for one reason or another. As the baby boomers age, Social Security full benefit grows from 65 to 67. You have people that have chosen to work past the age of 65 for one reason or another. A pandemic has influenced some of this as well. So we want to make certain that perhaps that shortfall based just on age, well, where do we come up with people to replace them? Those are the folks that are medically disabled, accessing Medicare benefits under the age of 65, a great market for the products that we speak to today, because we want to make certain that we're able to address the needs of the population we visit with. And that's all part of how we reinvigorate our campaigns now, if necessary, or add to them. You know, you got 2/3 of the Medicare population has 3 chronic conditions. You have challenges with income and assets. So we want to make certain that we're able to provide choices for them, because they have choices. A Medicare beneficiary they can decline the Part B of Medicare should they choose to do so. Thankfully, not many do. Some of them will self-insure for the shortfall in those coverages, maybe pick up a standalone Part D program to help address medication cost. Some will deal with that medical deductibles and coinsurance and out-of-pocket expenses by electing to enroll in one of those standardized, modernized Medicare supplements we referenced just a moment ago. And then, of course, an increasing number are looking at the Medicare Advantage to Part C programs, where they kind of bundle those coverages. And when we look at some of the activity now during AEP, a lot of folks think of, okay, it's Medicare Advantage time. Sure is. But what we see from a whole bunch of research out there, that it's not always the case where that's the sole type of option they have, and if they're looking to review programs. So we want to make certain we're addressing the entire spectrum of need across the population. Because what we're seeing when Well, in the past, when we looked at some of these numbers based in 2019 in an age-in survey, the people that were coming into Medicare were doing pretty much an even choice between Medicare Advantage and Med Sup programs. And then you had that portion that were Medicare only, it says. Well, that might include the dual beneficiaries. That may well include people who have coverage they're accessing through the VA, the Veterans Administration. It may be people that have retirement programs, and it has those folks that have made a decision not to make a decision or a decision to make one and stick with just original Medicare. What we saw during COVID influence times is an increased number of people looking at Medicare Advantage programs. And so we want to be able, once again, to address all of the options that are out there for our clients. That gives us additional marketing avenues to follow as well, because, well, Med Sups and Medicare Advantage and PDP programs, different type of compliance pieces that are in play as to how we can market. And we want to be able to translate the language of Medicare. Every part of our society's got a whole bunch of the lovely acronyms. Folks that are into computers, they speak of different codes and different programs that I'm like, whoa, beyond me. But if they looked at some of the Medicare acronyms, they might be saying the same thing about me and you. And so this guide to the Medicare Learning Network, a CMS site, the link to this will come as part of your follow-up as well. We're all aware of the election periods. We know that annual election period goes through Pearl Harbor Day on December 7th. And we then have that non-renewal election period, a SEP, from December 8th through the end of February. And we look at how we address things thereafter. Part of what we want to do is make certain that our activity now not only gives a boost to our enrollment and enrollment possibilities during AEP, but is something that's replicated and carries on past December 7th. And we have additional webinars that we're going to do on that, of course, as well, about SEPs and those sort of things. But today we concentrate on that marketing activity because, hey, there are still special election periods that may come into play after December 7th, and we want to make certain that we take advantage of that at that time period and throughout the year, and look at some of those special election periods brought on by weather and other factors, because, well, that's an opportunity for us to follow through even into the new year in many cases. This is a point I was illustrating earlier, why it's important for us to look at multiple avenues to reach out to the Medicare population, because Kaiser Family Foundation tells us 7 in 10 didn't compare plans. So even the folks that have an option to change coverages and options that may behoove them to do so aren't looking to do so, and they haven't done evaluations, and it affects the highly susceptible population, the folks that really need our help, and for whatever reason, income or whatever other factor might come into play, we've got to look at some of the different pieces of folks that really need our help. And we hear a lot about T65 campaigns and everything of that nature. Look at the largest percentage of folks on Medicare, obviously, are over the age of 65 and need our help because they're not taking advantage even of the details that are put out there by the government, the numbers that are out there that are available through even a Google app. You know, we might take that into additional consideration because part of the population is very active on the internet, have smartphones, some of them don't. And so that might behoove us, once again, to go into the community and reach to the people that aren't accessing that information online through the different pieces that are in play there, and how we can deliver that information on a virtual or in-person type of scenario. So as we go through these different topics and visit about some of the things that are available for us in our target markets, we need to make certain that we're able to deliver on that information in a virtual environment or in person. And we have a population that's been trained for a year and a half now to do some things digitally that they may not have considered in the past. You had a year's worth of doctor's visits in many cases that were virtual. You have that with not only primary care and specialists, but dentists are doing a part of it. Hospitals are using part of that process to help alleviate some of the time of exposure and manner of speaking, but you have other segments of our everyday life that's been done virtually as well. Religious services, and that's going to continue because things are never going to go back to the old way entirely. So we want to make certain that we're able to work through things and make it work for you and the people that need that information. So some of the things we'll talk about, well, not putting all your eggs in one basket. We want to incorporate multiple initiatives as part of your overall marketing plan. That is something that you can use now, bump that AEP activity, AEP production, but set you up for the remainder of the year as well. And in many cases, that gives us the opportunity to look at your target market and encompass the centers of influence in that area and how we can drive people to call us or to visit with us in different physical locations. So we have that opportunity to do so through various sorts of advertisements. We have folks that are doing direct mail, which is complicated by the fact that mail delivery has been delayed by the different circumstances with the pandemic. You have also different people that are doing outreach through the internet. A really nice way of getting an immediate return, a microwave return. But if you're not able to deliver on a microwave response in many cases, well, you got to be prepared for those circumstances. And then there's the old tried and true, let's go out, shake some hands, kiss some babies, and get elected. And that gives us an opportunity to pinpoint an area and combine those efforts to make it work. So we're going to look to identify those different centers of influence outside necessarily of this last part with providers. Look at the faith-based organizations, the senior centers, nutrition sites, senior living facilities, and those providers, and identify them in your target market and approach them, be it virtually or on a physical basis. And part of that is, well, how do you find them? Well, faith-based organizations, churchangel.com can help you locate Christian areas of worship. You have an opportunity then to do the same thing with the Jewish community when they can identify those, and the Islamic community as well. So there are places out there that can help you identify these sites in your target market. And keep in mind, many of these organizations in the faith-based world have had to adjust and do some services virtually. So you're reaching out to them virtually, or if you're a door knocker and are proud of that, depending upon the size of congregation, you may not have people that answer the door during the week, non-peak times, so to speak. So this gives us an opportunity to pinpoint some of those folks that really need our help, regardless of what that faith will be. So this site or this page will give you those links as well, and there's something to incorporate in an approach that gives you a means of communicating with people that may not listen to Joe Namath, Joe Theismann, Joe Montana, whoever the everyday Joe is that advertises on TV for someone, Chuck Foreman. I mean, goodness gracious, ton of people. Chuck Foreman, I got a football analogy in my head instead of the boxer. But what we have here are folks that aren't responding to that necessarily and would like someone to deliver a message to them as well. So a Medicare 101 review is still appropriate at this particular point in time because it gives that person an opportunity to visit about that, or low-income subsidy webinars and things of that nature. We've got some really great tools that can help you in that area, approved pieces that you can use to present. And then, of course, if you are very active with a particular carrier, they all can offer some of that same information as well. You also have different sites that can help you with the lower income population that are going to need your help now and throughout the year. And so looking at food pantries and identifying those locations and contacting them, the senior centers that are out there. And much of what we talk about with these different locations go beyond a captive rep in many circumstances that are out there selling one program. If you deliver the information in a non-threatening manner and give people options, Well, gee, you got an audience that's going to listen to you now and throughout the year. The retirement communities, a lot of how you target that will dictate the audience and the product that's most appropriate for them. So if you go into low income housing, a Medicare supplement presentation may not get you the best results. Going in there with low income subsidy or Medicare savings plans or DSNP programs could be the choice for you. You go into some of the assisted living facilities that are targeted toward the higher income population. Well, you've got a different animal there entirely. So you have a different type of approach that you can use. And across the spectrum, we have those presentations that can help you. So this is a wee bit a smile and dial. Here's some information on low income housing units. And then, of course, look to the folks that are part of the programs that you offer, the provider partners across the board. So you can look at them and address some of it perhaps directly from a carrier, but you also have to look at this from a perspective of not every medical provider out there is part of a network. And those folks that aren't part of a network can use your help as well. So you can do complimentary Medicare supplement reviews, reviews on the medications. Get that door open, get that product working, and there you have an opportunity, once again, to help people now that are so bloody confused by 9 commercials in a row on some of the off channels that go speak to the joys and benefits of a particular program or particular service, and you work your way through it and can make it work. That same type of approach can work for you with dentists as well. So many of the MA programs are offering dental programs that are part and parcel of the MA program, and many of them offer buy-up programs as well. Some of those carriers, the vast majority of them actually now, have different marketing initiatives that reach out to the dentists that are part of those networks. And if you have ancillary product in your pocket as well, dental vision hearing programs, approaching this population may well give you that boost that you're looking for outside of some of the more traditional angles, because these folks, in many cases, are finding medical conditions that are revealed through their visit with the dentist. Check out some of the DVH webinars that we've done, dental vision hearing webinars, and it'll speak to diabetes or health conditions that are identified by a dentist visit. And that gives you an opportunity then as a full service rep to take care of those folks, but also help the dentist in a private pay, regardless of any other type of coverage, through a standalone dental program. You can have advocates on your behalf throughout the community in the dentistry world. So then you also have different, what I used to call blue hair heavens. Not always appropriate, since we have 15% of the population under the age of 65 aren't necessarily gray haired. But a lot of the different pieces of the segments that make up our community are great places for us to look at as well. So you have the blue light special restaurants, in a manner of speaking, the coffee shops that are now back in vogue once some of the mandates have been lifted about the pandemic, beauty parlors, bingo halls, all these places that are central to the communication process, the socialization process of the Medicare population, are great places for us to leave our information, with permission, of course, and make that work. And you see in a ton of restaurants where they have the old board out front. You got cards, post them up. Great way to generate prospects outside of some of the traditional channels. Those different restaurants, man, there's a ton of them that offer senior discounts. And many of them are open to working with someone to help drive business to them as well. I mean, the pandemic's not been easy on anybody, but restaurants, boy, they took it really hard. And this can be a way for us to draw attention to those locations, a non premium paying, in a manner of speaking, way for these different organizations to prospect through you. You're drawing attention to their locations. So they'll Scratch your back and you'll scratch theirs. All these different things can be reinforced or coordinated through a direct mail system as well, to help people understand what you're offering. Obviously, since we're a little past halfway into AEP, some of the direct mail, when you consider the pieces that are out there, takes a time for it to go out, a time for it to come back. You may be catching people right now at the tail end of open enrollment. But you find some of these folks, they'll hang on to those letters. And their decision to make a decision during AEP may be to do nothing at all. And then they see different changes come about. We can use the SEPs. They're going to reach out to us in many cases. I actually had a prospect at one point in time call me with a 3-year-old letter. So there are people like me that keep stuff and are willing to use it when the circumstances arise for them to do so. Part of what we have too with the vogue of social media is that microwave effect. You're going to see people that pop on, get information from them. Keep in mind, some of that you've got to reply pretty quickly because they may be popping into different ads and getting things out there. But there are some different tools that we offer that can help you in that area. And if you look at the entire structure of these programs and not put your eggs in one basket, you're looking to implement a varied campaign. It can help you with programs that may not be performing as well as they've done in the past, or something that you haven't done at all before. And you want to be that subject matter expert in your target market, you got to reach out to them through different means to raise awareness. Boy, I just picked up my mail before this webinar started, and I think I had one letter in there and 90 million pieces of advertisement. So you have that you deal with, you look at the letters, but how are we reaching out to them in another manner to make them aware of us and our situation? We look through the things in the community, those centers of influence, and a call or a visit can make all the difference in the world. You do have CMS material that can help you with these efforts as well. And keep in mind, you have these through the CMS or the Medicare websites, different pieces that are out there that can speak to Medicare drug coverage, different pieces that come into play there. And you have a supply website, in a manner of speaking, that can help you with information provided to you by CMS at no or low cost that you can order on a consistent basis as an advocate for this population. So a ton of information that's out there for you on that. And part of the follow-up is I'll link a demonstration on how you can go to those sites and access that material. One of the things that we do now is, with all the emphasis that we have on the electronic process, sometimes in order to make that work with time constraints or everything else, we collect data and we put things in later as we can do it and as time allows. So there are forms out there that can help you collect the information you need to help with a plan finding experience, do some different things to work as an advocate on their behalf. And then, of course, the carriers with whom you contract and your contracting upline, be it us or another organization, or if you're like many independent agents, you have contracts with multiple marketing organizations, what kind of support do they offer? Carriers are out there looking for agents that will be advocates on their behalf. So there's a ton of support from these individuals. And that includes not just pure Medicare product, but the ancillary folks as well. And they offer different services in many cases through a personalized URL, a PURL, where you have a microsite up for that particular product. MA carriers are doing that, med-sup carriers are doing that, dental programs are doing that like crazy. So implement that portion of your contract that may already be in place and make that work for you. Track your activity, not only for your own purposes, but as you reach out into the community, you're noting who you're reaching out to, who's answering your call, and then you can reference that through your other sales efforts. If you are active in a retail or location, a great way for you to center activity around that location, go to store management, department management, and say, hey, here's some things I'm doing to help drive business to you. Help me help you. And of course, as you're doing this and you're speaking to different communities, if you're active within the provider marketing area, hey, I'm working with these people that can help us, the specialists and the other people that are part of that community. But if you're working in the faith-based world, hey, I'm working with this congregation to help make certain that they have the information they need on an ongoing basis to make a informed decision as to their health care. That's circling back and referencing that material from one organization to another. It's kind of a third party endorsement of sorts. I'm working with this person. These are the people that I've been in contact with. And that really helps drive the needle, move the needle. I shouldn't say drive the needle. That sounded, boy, gee, John, you are diabetic. You should be aware of needles. This gives you the opportunity to take that information of who you've contacted with and show future contacts what exactly you are capable of doing and how you're active in the community and the different things you offer in order to help their organization as well. So it's the old line of, I don't know if it was Napoleon Hill or Zig Ziglar or whomever, you help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. And referencing people across the spectrum that you're helping get what they want can make a huge difference for you. So, bundling that entire marketing efforts, tying them together can make a huge difference. If you're active in other parts of the insurance world outside of Medicare, well, gee, you can work both ends against the middle in a manner of speaking. If you are looking at life insurance or final expense, sometimes using these other programs are a great door opener for that. What is the main thrust of your efforts and of your agency? Well, gee, that gives you then multiple opportunities to do it. I referenced earlier how oversight for Medicare Advantage and PDP programs are different than the Med Sup programs. You can cold call for Med Sup. You can't cold call for MA or PDP. You can cross-reference some of that, and it can make a big difference for you. So some different things as we tie together all of the avenues we have. So using our entire portfolio, speaking to folks about dental programs, where, boy, I've enrolled in this program, but great for my base medical needs. I don't have enough dental coverage because I got to go out and get dentures, or I have extractions coming that can be pretty expensive, or implants, or whatever it happens to be. They may have dental coverage with their current program if it's MA, probably don't have anything but a discount program if it's Med Sup. Those standalone programs can make a huge difference and are a great way to market outside of the norm and create additional revenue streams, all while taking care of the needs of your prospect or book of business. Some of the reasons why you'd want to do these programs with us here at Premier Marketing and some of the things that we can do to help you. Well, if you're looking to contract with multiple organizations or even not, putting your information in the Insurance Bay can create a profile for you, and you're answering the questions that are part and parcel of the standard insurance contracts. You can put your E&O information in there, all that sort of thing, and you can contract then with just a click for many of these carriers. A great way to save time, a great way to expedite that process of contracting for different programs. You're looking at MA programs, some of them have their own electronic contracting process we have to follow. So not everything is in this, but it's a great way for you to store your information and pick up other programs as needed. We do offer discounted errors and admissions coverage for qualified agents. What makes you a qualified agent? You got a contract with us. But this isn't adding you to a blanket policy for just one company or two companies. This is a program you own and you can carry forward to satisfy the requirements that just about every insurance carrier has there now for your own brand of, in the medical terms, malpractice insurance. So it can cover you across the board for a lot of different needs, very reasonable rates, and take care of you regardless of whom you contract through for a different program. We do also have bundled CE credits that you can use through our association with WebCE to help keep your license in play as well. And for those of you that may be recruiting and growing an agent population by helping them get contracted, they have some wonderful programs that can help you with that as well. We do also have a program to help you with your own benefit package. As an independent agent, you're responsible for your own types of coverages. This is a program that's a modified guarantee issue for disability income programs where you share in that commission. You're getting paid on a commission for yourself. A great way to ensure your money-making machine. That's you. And a great way for that to happen at reasonable rates, modified guarantee issue, and you're getting paid a commission upon it. Much as where today's presentations being recorded, past presentations are available to you as well through, as I mentioned earlier, our website at premiersmi.com, on our YouTube channel. And these are programs that go beyond, well, carrier information or that sort of thing, product information. Much as what we're talking about now with becoming active in your community to create ongoing grassroots leads and ways of approaching those centers of influence in the community. So if you've never worked with faith-based organizations before, we have programs put in place that can help you do so. If you haven't worked with providers before, we have programs to help you do that as well. Reach out to those centers of influence and the different ways that you can positively affect organic lead growth. So you don't have to buy your leads all the time or whatever. Utilizing some of these programs can help you generate those leads with a minimum of output out of your pocket, outlay out of your pocket, I should say, and make it work on a continuous basis. Once it's common in the insurance world, it's all about relationships. This is a great way to help you establish those by rendering services to that portion of the Medicare population, or I should say, your community population that needs your help in disseminating this information. So some of the things we recommend as well is to be adept and up on some of the different factors that come into play. So it's always important, obviously, to be certain that you're certified not just for a certain product with a carrier, but across the line, so you can actually take that annual certification process and profit from it. It's not a beat me down, my God, I got to do this again thing. It is a way for you to grow through those trainings. And you have them with not only the carriers, but you also have them with governmental trainings. And of course, in our electronic world now, you see a number of carriers, med sups particularly, a couple, 2, 3 come to mind. They're not accepting paper applications. It's all electronic. The process starts with electronic contracting, electronic enrollment, and then means for you to create a communication channel to reach out to people electronically as well. So doing those sorts of things are very important, making certain that you also understand the quote engines and what it takes to utilize those programs. We'll talk about that in a second. The low income subsidy and Medicare savings programs, this is something that will help you year round. You know, you've got that quarterly SCP, special election period, generated by these programs, and using it now, your knowledge of using that extra help program to drive down medication costs now differentiates you from the group. And simply asking a question or two, it doesn't have to be a big, oh my goodness, I can help you with this, drive down these costs entirely, I can do it. Well, it's the government that does it. We can help set up that process. And it carries through not only from that, but other portions of the Medicare world that can make a difference. The Medicare 101 review, that's a great way for you to establish yourself in taking care of the population you're serving across the board. And we can't necessarily make assumptions as to what is right for an individual because of our own personal preferences. So giving that opportunity of being the doctor that diagnoses, not someone who is, oh my goodness, I have something in my a patient room here. I'm just going to give them a pill and it'll be the right answer. Nope. That data that we glean from our conversations can make a big deal in serving the community properly. And then, of course, we've got a pretty cool program that speaks to you about how to ask for referrals and making it work throughout the process. That'll be linked for you as well and can make a big difference in generating leads. And that's something that if you haven't done it with the people that you've already met, it's a great way to reach back out to them and say, hey, I appreciate the opportunity for being your agent for the Medicare health programs. Who else do you know that I can help? And if you would, give them my name and number so I can visit with them. Because if they give you their name and number, hey, do not call comes into play. So you want to make certain that we help counsel these people into doing some of that prep work for you. That electronic tool access, well, here at Premier Marketing, it is a grand program for you to use without cost as a contracted agent that can really help you across the board. You've got a singular universal login that gives you access to the top 3 quoting programs in the industry. Medicare App, Medicare Link, and CSG. Medicare Apps powered by Connecture, Medicare Link powered by Sunfire, and the CSG tools that are out there that can help you across the board handle the entire population. Create a database with the CRM that comes with the program. It'll store your information year over year so you can do the annual reviews much more easily, but also market those folks throughout the year if you sold them or not. And keep in mind, it is also the tool that allows you to gather the forms you need to address the population compliantly. So that scope of appointment, well, there are different means that you can collect it through this system, email, text, verbally with certain carriers, different pieces that you can put out there to get that information you need, store it for that 10-year period if you sell them or not, all through this singular tool that gives you access to other information to help you be successful. And it includes a program within the CSG plan or the CSG tool that can help you with cross-selling as well. Got a great little piece in recorded piece on how you do that. I would go into that in greater detail now, but hey, I don't want to keep you on the line for a whole day. So it'll come to you as part of the follow-up too. Some of the programs that are out there, well, it doesn't apply to Medicare Advantage or PDP programs because the max comp is set by the government. But many of the Medicare supplement programs and the ancillary programs are offering incentives that can really drive additional revenue to you. Well, the MA programs have the HSA programs in there that can get you additional bucks too. We're seeing the carriers pay more and more for them. But that information may help you qualify for carrier trips and may also help you qualify for premier incentive programs that can be very beneficial to you as well. Some of the things we do to help put you in front of folks, well, if you like to smile and dial, we can get you that contact list, butt it up against do not call, and make that work for you for programs that allow that activity. MA and PDP, no. MedSup, yeah. Dental programs, hospital indemnity programs, other demand programs that are out there, well, it's a great way to do it. Community-based marketing programs are there. How, if you're in a retail situation, how can you make that pay off for you? As I mentioned before during the recording slide on this, the ways to approach faith-based organization provider marketing techniques as well. It can help you. If you sell 4 different MA carriers, approaching them and helping get information from them about leads that they're generating may be possible for you as well. That's a symbiotic relationship, obviously. You go in now and you're going with a carrier you haven't written a single app for and say, hey, you got any leads? They're going to go at you and go, huh, where were you since October 15th? But hey, that's the way it works. You have that relationship. You work with the agent managers of these MA carriers. It can be something that carries you throughout the year. We do offer internet leads and direct mail support. And once again, I'm going to go back to that referral program where you take a single lead and multiply it simply by asking questions simple questions throughout the presentation, before the presentation, after the presentation, that can grow the leads off of a single source. The direct mail support is production based. It drives down the cost of those direct mailers. And there are 2 programs you can qualify for with our organization each and every month. Some deals with the health programs that includes EMA and PDP and Med Sup production, ancillary production as well. But if you write final expense, there's another program that can help you with mail programs there too. Keep in mind, we do this consistently throughout the year, we're going to see the return for it. If you do it just once, it's kind of like exercising just once. You feel the pain, you don't see a lot of benefit. You do it consistently, it can really make a difference. We do so through different lead vendors that are vetted. We do so in order to help protect you on a compliance basis. But each of these mail houses have databases that you can then access returns near immediately. So you catch them while they're hot. And it's a direct mail piece. So it's not like internet leads where you got to call them in 10 minutes. Exaggeration there, but it can make a big difference for you. So it can help you in that regard through these different databases that they have and the CRM systems that are available to you as an agent purchasing those services. We do also have direct mail response pieces. Now, these are pieces that are coming back. They're not touched by any other agent or any other organization. And it gives you the opportunity to collect upon those folks that are responding to direct mail through a third party sending that mail and then distributing those responses. So they're clean, untouched leads, and it gives you the opportunity to plug in holes in your different marketing efforts or add to a total direct mail program where you can get into them a wee bit more economically, put it that way. The Facebook leads or the internet leads we offer are through Facebook. We have a program set up for final expense and one for Medicare as well. This is a way for many folks that will also look at the internet and create their own campaigns. And many agents and agencies are doing so successfully. We can help you in either avenue. That referral program I keep harping upon is not just for folks you're visiting with now, new prospects. It's a great way for you to engage your book of business, those folks that know you, are comfortable with the services they deliver, and since they've done business with you once, well, gee, they may well want to do business with you again. LIMRA tells us that if you ask about their life insurance, more than half of them are willing to buy. So there are some different things here that can be very helpful across the board using that system. So it's all part of incorporating a package of marketing to the population we're looking to serve. If you look at diversifying some of those efforts, doing some things both electronically and in person can make a big difference for you. And it's an opportunity that you can use throughout the year. But why would you want to delay? These are some of the things that can help you now and can really make that difference for you in a profitable manner. Because what we want to do is lend positive response to our revenue flow. What are you saying there, John? You trying to use a whole bunch of big words? Well, yeah, in a manner of speaking, it's a great way to make certain you're making money throughout the year, but you're doing so while you serve the population and you don't have to wait for anything. It's like John Wayne and the Cowboys. It's like slap a piece of bacon in that biscuit, saddle up, let's ride. We're burning daylight. You can do it now. All that said and done, we want to be the organization that helps you with this. So for each of you with your own particular needs, because they're different across the board, we share the need for success, but some of the ways of getting there, well, there's different avenues to do so. We want to help you with that, and we want your business. So all that said and done, you're going to get, once again, the piece that is out there for you that speaks to this presentation. So a link to today's presentation. You can respond to that email. You can call us 1-800-365-8208. If you're currently working with a person within Premier, they're going to help you across the board. or if they need help with certain special markets, because hey, you might be looking for life insurance or annuity programs. And what I'm speaking to here is the Medicare crew. So they're going to be able to make certain that you hook up with the right folks and make it work. So you can do so through that toll-free number. Once again, 1-800-365-8208, or visit us at our website at premiersmi.com and get the opportunity to make certain that we maximize our potential. And some of it, I mean, nothing we've talked about today is brain surgery. It's a question of being able to find these people through different means than we may be using now, or reiterate our efforts from earlier, and plan for the rest of the year and throughout 2022. A great way for us to do things that can help us now, do things that can help us down the road. So all that said and done, what I'd like to do now, because we're right about at our time limit, is thank you. Thank you for the investment of your time with us here today to roll through these programs and the things that are available. But for those of you that have done business with Premier in the past, I thank you for that business. For those of you considering to do it in the future, I thank you for that opportunity. We look forward to visiting with you as soon as possible because, hey, we're burning daylight. Want to make certain that we can do whatever we can to help move the needle for you now and consistently through the future. So all that said and done, I'm going to check questions. Yes, we are taping this. It will come to you as well. No other questions. Boy, I'm a fast talker, I guess. But I thank you for that. Until we're able to visit again, I wish you good selling. Thanks so very much, and we'll talk to you soon.